Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Warren. I am a banker here in London and a property investor across the UK. My goal is to live free and independently from property. So I'm looking for an income of £3,000 per month from property. If that's what you're onto, like, subscribe. That is what this channel is all about. So today we are talking about building a portfolio. There's this really interesting video on TikTok about a guy who bought 11 properties by age 27. Let's have a look at how he did it and what we can learn from this.
This is how I bought 11 properties by age 27. I bought my first property in Battersea Park in London in December of 2018. The way I got the money for that was in December of 2016, I started renting properties and then I would put them onto Airbnb. I was charging people twice as much as the rent I was paying to the landlord.
I can see immediately that he's using the rent-to-rent strategy. He said that he started in 2016 renting out properties on platforms like Airbnb and paying landlords. So he's approaching landlords, asking them to use their property in return for a fixed amount per month, and he's renting those properties out on Airbnb, Booking.com, etc. That rent-to-rent strategy is high income yielding, but not without its risks. Watch my other videos on that where I describe the pros and cons of the rent-to-rent strategy. So he's making a good income from rent-to-rent in 2016 to 2018. Then he's bought a property in Battersea. So he's reinvested all of that income that he's made from rent-to-rent. Smart guy.
I loaned money for 2 years. I had to pay a £60,000 deposit and then I had to pay £50,000 on top for the legals, the finance and the refurb. And that is where...
Okay, where I get a bit iffy about that is he's basically talking about an outlay of £60,000 plus £50,000, £110,000. I'm not convinced that you can make £110,000 net profit in 2 years just from Airbnb. But let's see what else is in this video, in this TikTok.
I converted the property from a one-bedroom property into a two-bedroom property. So it cost me £110,000 all in. But once the property was...
So yeah, £110,000. He said he converted the property into a two-bedroom. So that's kind of BRRR strategy there. So he's bought a property, refurbed it, added an extra room to get more income from the property itself. Really good. So far there's two strategies there. You've got rent to rent and then you've got a bit of BRRR as well.
Converted into a two-bedroom property. It was then revalued at £320,000. And at that stage, I got a new mortgage in the property and that actually gave me back £80,000. So I invested 110.
So he's refinanced it. So that BRRR strategy, buy, refurbish, refinance, rent. In that clip, he talked about the refinance element where you get money back, and he's just said he's got an £80,000 back by adding an extra room, refinancing it, getting a new mortgage and releasing some equity. Very smart.
And I got 80 back, so that meant it only really cost me £30,000 to buy this property. I then did the same thing in London Bridge, Vauxhall, Brixton, and then in West Hampstead. In 2010...
Whoa. Okay. Let's go back a sec.
£30,000 to buy this property. I then did the same thing in London Bridge, Vauxhall, Brixton, and then in West Hampstead.
Okay, if you know anything about London, London Bridge, Brixton, West Hampstead, Vauxhall, those are prime areas of London that are not cheap. So I'm wondering how he's afforded to get properties there, to buy properties, if that's what he's saying, and refurb them. We're talking probably close to £1 million to do that, or even over £1 million to do all that. So I'll be interested to know where you got the money to do that from.
2010, I bought a three-bedroom house, turned it into two flats, and then once again I refinanced the property. And currently the building I'm sitting in now, this is a mixed-use building we bought last year, and we're turning this into 4 flats. So that is how I ended up buying 11 properties. Now, for full transparency, all of these properties are owned in a limited company, and I own half the limited company. So technically, I co-own the 11 properties. This is how I bought 11 properties.
Right, okay. So he's kind of explained it. He said he bought it in a limited company and he co-owns them. So I'm inferring that he's got a business partner. So these are joint ventures. So that's probably where he's getting a lot of the funds from as well to do that, because it's hard to do that on your own unless you've been in property for a while and done really, really well. But overall, some really good tips. I'm all about stacking different property strategies. So he's talked about rent to rent. He's talked about serviced accommodation. He's talked about BRRR, and he's talked about joint ventures as well. So combination of 4 strategies. And me, myself, I've done normal buy to let. I've done BRRR, and I've had a go at rent to rent in the past. My next property is going to be a proper serviced accommodation strategy property. So key message from this, guys, is to stack strategies. I'm a real big fan of combining different strategies to, first of all, spread the risk across your portfolio. So buy to let, normal vanilla buy to let on standard ASTs is a good starting point. I wouldn't just dive straight into BRRR or serviced accommodation. Find your feet first doing normal buy-to-let properties and build your experience, and then work your way up to more complex and more advanced strategies like BRRR, like serviced accommodation, like HMOs. And also, if you watch my other videos, you know I'm a big fan of partnering up joint ventures, because that allows you to accelerate your journey. He's basically described what I believe in and what I want to get to in terms of going into joint ventures. And when you combine your money with partners that you trust and that you vet well, you can do more. You can buy more properties, you can do more expensive, more complex strategies where the return is higher. The risk might be higher as well, but if you're doing it as a joint venture, you can actually spread the risk across you both. So a really good video. I like that. Let me know what you think in the comments.